Hey everyone. So today I got a package. No, actually yesterday. Yesterday I got a package. And this is the door and window seals kit for Ramchargers pickup for the entire D and W series of this year in body style. Years, like 30 years of the same body style with Dodge. So this kit should work for any two-door application. It does not come with the rear hatch seal or the roof seal. Those are separate. This is the only kit I could find that would come into Canada without duty through Amazon. So I picked it. The rear seals seem fine, so I'm not going to worry about them right now. But we need proper window seals, which it didn't have. They were basically deteriorated to nothing. And we need door seals so that we don't get rain in there and the doors aren't rattling around. Okay, so starting off, we got these seals. These are the door seals. You'll be able to tell them from their kind of lobe here and this kind of clip style right there. When you get these in the kit, they are designed so that this section fits in with the other side right here and fits in there, which is nice and handy. Looks nice and clean, probably even seals somewhat better. So the next is a duplicate. Same thing, but the other door. Then we have these, which are kind of channels. And they're actually what the window rides in. I'll just show you right here. The window rides right in this side. So the rear side of the door and the top side of the door. There's also a channel in the sill of the door right here before this little rotating or tilting window. Last in this kit is the window seals. And with first gen window seals, it's a bit of a shot in the dark. I've heard some people say that they've got window seals from this place, LMC, Rock Auto, blah blah blah. Their uncle, it could be anyone, and I've heard a different result from any kind of person, online or in person, that some say the window seals are great aftermarket, some say they don't fit barely at all, and some people say they just run without window seals, which I wouldn't recommend if you want to have a dry door. But if you like electrical problems with your speakers, then go ahead, that's fine. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 sides for each side. 1 inner and 1 outer for each window. We're going to start with the window seals because that's what I decided. Now, the old window seals were absolute junk. They were all moldy, crusty, cracking, doing nothing. So I ripped them out already before I did the paint, because I didn't want any paint lines there, obviously. What I did, basically, you can see these kind of tabs. If you look in there, that's better. Little slots. And if you have first gen, you'll know what I'm talking about. This is actually an application that is quite common, I think, throughout lots of this year and even other manufacturers. I think GMC made a lot of their window, and Jeeps are like this too, where they have these slots and these clips that will fit inside those slots. But as to explain how to remove these, the best way I can suggest is you simply want to get some sort of way of prying underneath close to the clips. You don't want to pry really far between the contact points of the clips. If you do that, you're more likely to break, bend, rip the window seal. Not that it really matters, but it'll make more of a difficulty when you're trying to get them out. You want to get them out as one piece and kind of pop them out at the particular points in which it matters. And so you want to get as close as possible to the contact points, to the clips, and you want to just pry up, and they will come out. Installing these are fairly idiot-proof, as with kind of anything. So you can see it's a nice tight fit. The contours around the doors looks pretty decent. What we're gonna do, as I was mentioning, is get these clips in those holes. And you kind of wanna do them all at once. Get each clip kind of in and then push them all in. If you try to do one side, or especially one side than the other side, you'll have an absolute nightmare of doing it. I'm gonna show you a little bit of a tip that makes it easier. These tabs, take a flathead screwdriver and simply take that flathead screwdriver, insert it between the clip and its base, and pry ever so slightly, like 15 degrees up. It just loosens this a little bit. The way they send it from factory is a nightmare trying to get it on. And some people struggle with that. Why won't it go in? Why won't it go in? They're pushing harder and harder, and then they just end up messing up the actual structural integrity of the piece. Well, if you just give the clip a little bit more slack, it actually goes on pretty decent. I got the first one on, and I remembered I should mention that to everyone. Went on pretty good. Feels nice and solid. Some people have mentioned this as a common issue, I guess, is that these pop up. And then over time, you just have to push them down as they pop up, and eventually they'll stop popping up. And I've heard some people say that they never stop popping up. So I'm going to go with they will eventually stay down. So the second one is installed. The second one is by far more difficult because you have less room to work with. Since the seals are new and they're fairly large, they kind of compete for space, but it's very much possible. Here is another example of what I was mentioning, and people mention online, is that this area doesn't sit quite flush and it interferes with the seal on this canyon that the window rides in. So this channel right here comes down and passes just beyond where this seal ends. So that conflicts a bit. I'm not too concerned, but if you're pretty OCD, it might be rather annoying. You might be able to trim this off and get that to sit more flush. Over time, apparently, these will sit better. And so I'm going to go with that theory. Next up is the door seals. So, shush. I kid you not, the dogs were not barking for like an hour. And I press record. Honey! Shh. So, most important thing about the door seals is start at the bottom so that you end at the bottom. All you want to do is make sure that this lobe section is on the outside and that you clip it on like that. Well, I've worked it around all the way once. Before you go ahead and cut to size, they always give you more than you need, from what I've experienced. So before you go to cut it to size, you would cut it right there. Before you do that, you want to work it around one more time, just in case you work out some extra slack in here. I'm going to do that one more time, and then I'm going to cut it there and connect it. So by working around, basically, it's harder to do with one hand, but you're just pushing alongside the section of ribbed channel that secures along the skinny metal section of the cab that comes out as an edge. So to cut this, I just used a regular kind of house knife that you would cut apples with or something. It's not very strong, not very hard. The metal inside there is very weak, and it can be cut with a house knife. And then before you push the rest of it down, you just insert that male end of it into the female end and push it down, and it ends up with this nice seamless seal. And getting blinded by my Milwaukee flashlight. I got the driver's side done too now. Nice, almost seamless finish. This was a little bit more difficult because this pillar gauge, tri-pillar gauge setup is a little bit wider than the stock interior design. So what I did is I took a large screwdriver and I kind of pushed it in there ahead of the seal, and I gave me enough gap so I could push the seal in. And I pushed the screwdriver up further, pushed the seal in, and moved along like that until I passed the entire thing. And it went smoothly. It's looking good. Let's see how the door closes. That's a real test, isn't it? Whew. That is firm and nice. Look at that. No budging, no sounds. That's what we want. That is nice. Little peek at the 12 valve there. Check out this side, see how she does. Yes. Same thing, no movement, nice and firm. That's pretty good. I barely even push that. That's pretty good for first gen doors, if I say so myself. And then watch this. Pops out. So on the old seals, that wasn't happening, and there was some play. The bulbous part of the seal had worn out, and then in the bottom sections, they were all over the place. Ugh, focus. There we go. So the bottom sections were just all over the place, flying around. This is what we want. It's a lot better. If you're thinking about doing it, it's not expensive, and it's a very, very good upgrade or improvement. Now onto the channels. There's going to be two sections that you're going to get if you got the full kit. One of them will be lying flat when you get it. It'll have two tabs on the back. And this is going to be for the section of channel that rides from the bottom of the door all the way up and around the top section of the door. It goes all the way down through the window slot. It's only possible to do while taking the interior panels of the doors out. Once you have those out, you can get decent access. Some people remove the window when they do that. I have done it without removing the window. It's very, very difficult, but it is possible. So that section goes all the way down, comes all the way up, goes around here, and basically it fits in really, really well. The design kind of clips into the metal of the door. You don't have to work it too much. These tabs are sometimes a pain. If you get them in the wrong spot, it's a nightmare. So I actually recommend starting on the top. So you get those in first, and then you go all the way down. The other section of seal that you will receive is for this section of the windowsill. Pops in there, and likewise the other side goes all the way down the window rail to the bottom of the door. And it's possible to do without the window being removed, but it's easier to do if you remove the window. You can find more information on forums, Facebook groups, and other videos, but that is how you would do that install. So that's all from me. Thank you for watching. And if you're enjoying this stuff, make sure you subscribe, because I'm going to have a lot more videos produced as the time goes on. A few more things to wrap up on the Ramcharger before I daily it. And then while I'm dailying it, I'm going to be improving multiple different parts of the vehicle so that it is at my preference. And that should be fun, and there'll be lots of content to come along the way. Lots of first gen and Ramcharger information. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe, give me a like, and if you have any questions, just ask in the comment section. Thank you.